Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. It is pretty chilly out. Yesterday we had a really nice day and the snow melted, but I thought that since it's cold and we're supposed to get more snow tomorrow, that I would just come out quick and take you to a couple of the spots in the garden and talk to you a little bit about what it looks like and what's going on in my neck of the woods. So my name's Soleil and I garden here in mid-Michigan in a zone 5B. And as I said, we have just had some melting snow. So all of these pots on my deck are just kind of hanging out and waiting for spring to come because it's still a ways away. And you can see I managed yesterday to come out a bit and do a little bit of cleanup. It's definitely very hard to get around right now, but I was able to come into this garden bed and clean out a lot of the irises. Obviously I couldn't get back here. I just kind of put myself down on the ground and stuck my bad leg out to the side, and then managed to get down and pull some of the brown stuff so it looks a whole lot better. In this area you can see that my Virginia is laying down pretty flat right now, but there is some really cute lingonberry. I don't know if you can see the lingonberries, I can't get very close, but they are still evergreen and super cute. And then we have the ajuga lining the pathway still, looking pretty colorful. Right here we have some foxglove that I have sowed in the past, so hopefully it will continue to bloom this year. I'm looking forward to that, and there's actually quite a bit of it here, so I may be able to spread it around the garden. I am growing some from seed, but it's always nice to have full-grown plants so that you can put them in different areas. Something rather amazing to me is just the use of this small protective cover. It has a mesh on the top, but literally the lettuce actually made it all the way through the winter in this, which is really surprising to me. I don't know if you can see it down in there. Once we get better weather, I'll have a lot of cleanup to do. Again, it's really windy right now. We're gonna probably get an inch of snow tomorrow, but I'll be cleaning up all of these sedums that are around the yard, as well as trimming back some of the hydrangeas that I have to get them in the shape and form that I want them to be. I also have a lot of phlox that are still in the garden standing that I need to cut down to the base. The birds have really been enjoying the bird feeder. As you see one just kind of pop along there. It's kind of small. I don't know if you're able to see it or not, but they definitely have been happy to have the extra food this year. We get a lot of nuthatches and other small birds, chickadees, and it's really fun to watch them. It's nice to see the evergreen structure in the garden during the winter, but I'm really looking forward to some of the herbaceous perennials coming up here because they really make a big difference in the look and feel of the garden. And I think the first thing that has to come up before that, though, is some of the bulbs. And I tried very hard to put in some markers, which you'll see throughout the garden, to show where I planted them, but I definitely forgot where some of them are at. So it'll be fun to see where they come up. All the snow has melted off of the paths, but it's still too early yet to flip over the bird baths and things that I still am protecting from freezing. The rhododendrons fared quite well over the winter. They got a little bit of leaf scald just from being in the sun, but it's okay. They're doing quite well. They look just fine to me. I have a bit of a mess to clean up because I left the Haconocloa grass during the winter, so I will definitely have to come through and cut those up. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how this bed comes alive this year because I made a lot of changes in it last year with swapping out for sunnier type flowers like roses, and I've got 3 roses in this bed along with some chives, and I planted some ajuga to help cover the ground. I've got phlox in here. There's just a number of different things. I do also have some astilbe that I'm trying, so we'll see how that comes back. The rabbits have definitely been busy in my garden this winter, eating just about any of the tops of the heucheras that they could find above the snow. And now that the snow is gone for a little bit, I'm definitely being able to see some of the damage, but they usually grow back fairly well as long as they leave enough of the plant. So I'm not too worried about it. I'll also show you some of the gifts that they left me to fertilize the garden. It's everywhere, so I should have a very healthy garden this spring. I may not even need to add any organic fertilizer because they seem to have taken care of that for me. You can probably see in this bed a little bit of the damage that they did to the taps as they ate off the top of those beautiful heucheras, but that's okay. Again, they'll grow back because there's plenty of heuchera that's left there. This bed is going to be really fun to see come to life again this year because of how many changes I made in this area, adding so many additional plants like the mahogany monster heuchera. The Pieris was a great addition, and then so many foxglove and additional types of heuchera that I have in this bed. It's going to be really a blast to see it come alive. And then in the front of this bed here, this variegated catchfly plant I've never grown before. I can't wait to see what that does. Okay, so not to be weird, but I do want to show you, if you can see, all of the fertilizer that the rabbits have left behind. This is a really good place for you to be able to see all of the pellets that they leave throughout my garden as they come in and eat parts of it. So it's quite amazing to me how much there is, but the rabbits have definitely spent a lot of their winter in my garden. I did work on pruning this hydrangea already, so you can see that I pruned it just to shape, and I pruned off a lot of the smaller branches, and so that's going to be really nice to help keep the hydrangea from having flop. This will be about the 4th year, I think, that this one has been in my garden, and so that can make a big difference as the hydrangeas grow on. I'll be doing a video hopefully in April a little bit more about hydrangea pruning because I have quite a few that I will have to prune at that time. I really wish I could get in right now and cut back some of these mums. They're throughout the front and the back beds that I still left standing over the winter just for some winter interest, but it's going to be a little bit before I can get to those, probably sometime in mid-April. I also added those foxgloves back in the back, which I think did really well over the winter, so I'm looking forward to seeing those bloom and some added height up against the fence. A little bit of hope of spring does await under these cages. If you can see, there are some tulips that are coming up here. The little red tips are coming through. Here's where I set my sowing for the winter, and it's got a good place in the sun, but it's also protected by the back of this bench here. I definitely need to come in through here and take some of the winter stuff away, like the deer and the red bows. But it's good to see that my boxwoods have made it through the winter. And over here I picked up some sail shrubs which were covered in snow for the longest time and I couldn't show you, but I've got a new boxwood and a new mugo pine here that I got for half off at Home Depot. One other plant that I picked up here that's evergreen is a bird's nest spruce, so I'm excited to have that. I can't wait to find a place that I want to plant that and have a little evergreen interest. I never did get around to cleaning up this bed, so there's still a lot that needs to be cut back this year. But we finally got all of the Christmas lights down today. And look at that black ajuga. We'll try and get a closer look here real quick. Okay, look at that black scallop ajuga. Still looks pretty nice. Lots of color right now. And I can just see some daffodils peeking up between some of the bushes in there. So it's definitely clear that things are waking up a little bit. Here's some hellebore blooms that are getting ready to peek out. This one appears to be really ready to bloom. So many flowers. Should be really pretty once all of those come up. Well everyone, thanks for joining me today for this short little look around the yard to see what's going on in this early spring. See you soon. Bye.